Alright, hello viewers, and welcome to round number 7, Season 2 SWE League. We currently have 13 drivers in the lobby, all of them, and some of them already on track, obviously looking to get that pole position here in qualifying. But just before we start, as usual, just want to remind everyone that the link to the SWE website is in the description below. Yeah, just use that link, you can find all the standings, roster, all that kind of stuff is all just on that link in the description. So yeah, here in Sochi for round number 7, in terms of track layout, we have 18 turns. Obviously the sweeping left-hander at turns 3 and 4, and then you've got the long DRS straight and the tricky last sector. It's actually quite a hard lap to hook up in qualifying, to be honest. Track limits are always there to catch you out. But in terms of tyre wear, Russia is pretty much the easiest in the entire calendar to get away with. In terms of the hardest compounded tyre, which is the soft compounded tyre, you can get away with 30 laps on that set. On a single set you can get 30 laps out of those soft yellow walled tyres. So yeah, like I said, in terms of tyre wear, Russia is far from being tricky, but yeah, most of the corners just 90 degrees. Pretty easy to corner cut. Turn in too late, you're going to cut the corner. Get on the throttle too early, you're going to go wide. And either of those is going to ruin your qualifying lap. We've got a few new drivers in the session just now. Currently aboard with MC in Silver today. Currently a reserve driver because he's new, but I'm sure he'll be getting a first grid seat anytime. Jamie Morris, I believe this is his 3rd appearance in the league so far. Not doing too bad actually. Last race, where is he? Last race got 5th place. Currently sits in 13th place in the championship standings, but only with one finishing position. So he'll obviously be looking to make some gains here in Russia. Who else do we have? Sam and the McLaren, he's also making his 1st appearance in SWE. So, pole time last year, 2018, was a 1:31.3. You can see already SX White with a 1:31.2, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of lap times we get at the end of the session if these drivers can get under 31 and into the high 30s. I believe they would, but to be honest, I'm not really sure what's considered a good lap time around here. But yeah, like I said, we'll keep an eye and see what kind of lap times come up as the session progresses. Anyway, we'll ride on board with the Ferrari right now. Into turn 1 we go. Brake in just at the 100 metre board down to 3rd gear. Turn in, don't cut the inside apex or the exit apex. Either way is going to invalidate your lap time, obviously that's something you want to avoid. Long sweeping left-hander, as tyre wear becomes a problem, you can find a lot of drivers starting to slide about there, belt oversteer maybe. Into the 2nd sector, again another corner that a lot of drivers will be corner cutting. TRL Montana puts in a 1:29.8, so 1:30s are already out the window and we're into 29s. Obviously Montana being the championship leader at the moment. A pole is to be expected from him, or at least front row. 3rd sector then. Looks like a nice lap so far, I can't see any mistakes. A little bit of a breather now, gets the foot all the way to the floor, down into 3rd gear. Again, more corners that are quite easy to invalidate your lap time. Puts in a 1:31.1, puts him 4th place in qualifying just now. Gennaro just put in a 1:30.5. He actually, I believe he started 15th last week in America, and he actually finished on the podium in 3rd place after SWE gained a few penalties. So from 15th to 3rd is nothing shy of a good race. So it'll be interesting to see what the Haas driver, what he can do, not only in qualifying but obviously in the race as well. Yellow flags in sector 3. Storm UK also making his first appearance, I should say, his debut in the Red Bull for this race. We'll see what he's like. Seems to be pretty tidy just now into turn 4. Turn 5, another right-hander takes you into sector 2, then turns 6 and 7. Again, nice and tidy. It seems to be quite conservative right now, but we'll see what the lap time comes out as. I should say. Pellegro in the Renault pulls over on the pit straight. Sorry, I should say the back straight. Yeah, into the pits he goes. So 5 minutes left here in qualifying. Currently TRL Montana is our pole sitter on a 1:29.804. Gennaro follows him, also on the Hypersofts. And then after him, 5/10 behind, Jamie Morris, followed closely by Ville, however you pronounce it, and then Sam in the McLaren currently sits 5th place. SWE only 0.04 of a second behind that McLaren, currently sits in 6th place, actually on the Ultrasofts there, so he is on the slower compounded tyre. But like I said earlier, the tyre wear around here is very, very minimal, so I believe it would be a 1-stop even on those Ultrasofts. Yeah, of course it would be, it's a slower, yeah. So even maybe on the Hypersofts it could be a 1-stop. I'm not too sure what the usual pit strategy is for Sochi. Three and a half minutes left. Some of the drivers will be leaving the pit lane now. Obviously with things like track evolution, the tyres getting a little bit warmer, things like that. Lap times do tend to improve towards the ends of the session, so the drivers will come out the pits, get the tyres and brakes nice and warm, and they'll go for that last blast later on in the qualifying session. You can see TRL Montana, 3 minutes left, on his outlap just now, and he'll go for a quick lap, and that will take him to about a minute left, and then that should be him done for qualifying. So we'll see what he can do to that 29.8. Any improvements? I'm sure he definitely could improve, but obviously whether he can get that Williams car around the track, not cut any corners, things like that. Yeah, so we'll see in a few moments time. SWE was previously on those Ultra Softs, he's put in a 130.3 I should say, and now on the Hyper Softs currently sits on the front row of the grid next to Montana in second place there. Okay then, so we'll ride on board with Montana for his flying lap. Into the final corner goes, takes it nice and slow out there, make sure you get the best exit you possibly can. Alright then, through turn 1 we go, not really a corner, but we'll just say that's turn 1, down into turn 2, braking at the 100 metre board, down into third gear. A little bit conservative through there, doesn't want to throw his lap time out the window right at the very start of it. Through turn 3 we go, up to about 300 kilometers an hour through there. Turns 4 and 5, both just pretty much 90-degree right-handers. Then turn 7, quite a tricky one. Takes it nicely though. Nothing to complain about so far. Onto the pit straight, onto the back straight I should say. A little bit of oversteer on the exit there, opens the DRS. Cars get up to about 340 kilometers an hour around here. Pull the car over to the left hand side and slam on the brakes. Into turns 13, 14, don't touch the curbs on the right side or they'll just pull you in. Down into third gear for turns 15 and 16, little bit of a breather before the penultimate corner. These last two both again just right-handers. Into the last corner he goes, foot to the floor and improves by almost 4/10. Keeps his Williams on pole for now with a 129.4. SWE is retired from the session, so the front row is all you can hope for right now. Regardless, close to pretty much the best you can get in qualifying, so nothing to complain about there. Jamie Morris coming through the last corner now, a little bit of a track extension on the exit there, improves his time by 0.2 of a second but doesn't put him any closer to that pole position. Here comes Sam then in McLaren. Can he improve on his time? Currently sits 7th place in qualifying here. Through the last corner, looks like he's pulled out of it, so he won't see any improvement either. MC in that Silver coming through the last sector now with a 1:31.2 is currently his fastest time. Turn 15, turn 16. I wouldn't expect to see any improvement right now, but he does only sit. Oh, he's retired, doesn't matter. Yeah, so Montana once again on pole here in Sochi. We'll see what the final standings are in a moment. So I believe Montana was actually the only one to improve their time on that last run in qualifying. Almost a full second ahead of anyone. So the Canadian driver once again looks to be the favourite here in Russia. SWE in the Mercedes with a 1:30.3, followed by Gennaro from GME. Pellegro sits in 5th, and then it's the Ferrari, Villy, Sam, MC, Dream On, Jack, Storm 2006, and then Daniel KTM rounds off the grid. So round number 7, we'll see what the drivers can do, see if they can keep it clean into turn 2. I'll be surprised if they do, to be honest, but to be honest, I've said that in the last 2 races I believe, and both of them have been quite fair, quite clean, so hopefully we won't see any changes to that. Alright then, for the formation lap. Just get the graphics set up then. Yes, on the left side of your screen there you can see the driver's gaps, positions, tyres, laps have been on the tyres, everything like that. And then also the driver and their lap time is in the top right of the screen there. So everything you need is somewhere on the screen. Yeah, so anyway, Montana for the 6th time this season leads us on the formation lap. I would presume that if SXY or anyone else for that matter, if they're going to get ahead of the Canadian driver, they're going to have to do it into turn 1 or a lot sooner than that, or else that Williams is going to fade off into the distance and once again take the top spot of the podium. To be honest, I'd like to see somebody to beat Montana, obviously. I'm not got anything against them, but you know what I mean, it's like seeing Lewis Hamilton win the World Championship 3 years in a row, so anyway. So it's SXY from the Haas car, Gennaro, Jamie Morris and Pellegro in the top 5. I'll just stick as usual with the front runners, especially on the first couple laps, because obviously just by myself, 13 drivers to commentate on, there could be a lot of things happening, so to avoid confusion and me sounding a lot more like Eminem than a commentator, I'll just follow the front runners, and then as things settle down, as the race goes on, I'll move towards the back. So, cars line up then for round number 7. There will be a little delay from when the lights go out on my screen and when the lights go out on the driver's screen, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment. But anyway, 5 red lights, and finally away we go. See what the starts are like. SXY seems to keep 2nd place for now. Jamie Morris moves up into 3rd place now with a poor start. Pellegro's going to get the inside line on him. Montana going defensive into turn 2. Jamie Morris is going to go up the inside of SXY. There's a little bit of contact. Keep it clean, keep it clean. Pellegro's bumping and bashing. Through turn 3 we go. Long left hander. Jamie Morris is going to try and slot into that 2nd place. Pellegro going defensive into turn 4. He's going to get the dive on SXY. Looks like he's got it done. SXY is going to take the long way around. Through turn 5 we go. Pellegro keeps his place on the track, but SXY is not going to give up without a fight. Gennaro follows closely behind them, side by side through this entire 2nd sector by the looks of it. Keep it clean, boys, keep it clean. Still side by side. Neither driver willing to give up. SXY gets a little bit of a corner cut, but for now he keeps that podium spot. Down the back straight for the first time then, Montana still in 1st place, followed by Jamie Morris. Already moved that Mercedes up 2 places. SXY and Pellegro still going at it. Gennaro is going to get up the inside by the looks of it. Close racing here. Sam in McLaren follows closely, lets his teammate by. Jack Maya is going to dive into the pits. I'm presuming he's got some sort of front wing damage. We'll see in a minute. Anyway, Carlson in the Sauber, followed by Storm, the debut driver, and then Jack is into the pits. Tierra Montana then leads this race already with a 1.3 second gap, so one of these Mercedes boys, they're going to have to get their finger out if they want to get any improvement on the second and third place they've got right now. But anyway, Pellegro follows 4th place. SWE is starting to pull out a little bit of a gap. Already a 3-second time penalty for the Renault driver. Gennaro started in 2nd place, he's down to 5th now. But considering his last performance in America, I would not be surprised at all to see him start to climb up the order a little bit. See if there's any racing. Carlson and Storm seem to be going at it right now. 3-second time penalty for the Silver driver. Track limits here in Russia are definitely one to look out for, and it seems to be catching some drivers out. Here comes Dream on 6th then. Storm is going to hold that inside line. Carlson going a little bit slowly through the right-hander there. Storm's going to get the cut back on him. Great move there. 8th place is the Red Bulls. Dream on 6 is going to follow him through. So is Daniel KTM. So Carlson was a moment ago in 8th. Currently sits 11th, so he's outside the points. He's going to look for a move down the inside into the last corner. Little bit of contact there, I think. They touched wheels, but nothing too spectacular. Daniel holds on to that point scoring position for now. Both drivers with DRS, but Carlson with that slipstream should be able to get the move done. Into turn 2 we go. A little bit of wheel bashing. Keep it clean, boys. Through turns 3 into 4. Tyre wear should not be an issue for any driver at the moment. Further up the grid, Gennaro, like I said, is starting to pull in the drivers ahead. Just be consistent. That's pretty much the main thing about this track. Don't get any penalties. Keep your tyre wear where it should be, and you should be alright. Further ahead on the graphic, Jamie Morris has dropped back to SWE. I'm not sure if that was deliberately. I wouldn't imagine it was. But regardless, Jamie Morris started in 4th, actually got up to 2nd place and now sits in 3rd behind his teammate. So Mercedes on for some good points right now. They currently sit 3rd place in the championship standings. They are 40 points behind the Williams, but with 2nd and 3rd place I would imagine they would start to make some advancements on the teams ahead of them. Further back, Storm UK is in the pits. I'm not sure. It looks like a front wing change for him. He is on the soft compounded tyre, so pitting on lap 4 definitely would not be needed for the tyres, so he's bumped that front wing somewhere, so he will pretty much be in last place when he comes out the pits. Jack Maya goes past him. So Storm was in 8th place I believe last lap, now is dead last. MC actually in that silver retired earlier on, I'm not sure why, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Little bit of a group gathering now. Pellegro seems to be dropping back a little bit. I wonder if he's struggling with his tyres maybe, or with his setup, whatever it may be, but the Renault driver there doesn't seem to be keeping up with the rest of these guys ahead of him. The Ferrari, Villi. I'm not sure where he started actually, I believe it was 6th place. Regardless, up ahead, Gennaro, Jamie Morris and Sam are all going at it for that podium spot. Once again, Gennaro started in 2nd place, dropped back to 5th, but now him, Jamie Morris and Sam are all battling for that podium spot. Goes defensive into turn 2, sorry. We'll stay with Sam to get a little bit of a bird's eye view, if you will, of the battle ahead. Through turn 3 we go. Is Jamie going to go for the dive? He was definitely thinking about it there. Thinks better of it in the end though. Gets a little bit of oversteer out of turn 4. What's he? He's slowing down by the looks of it. Why is he doing that? I'm not sure. So Morris got a big snap of oversteer out of turn 4. I would assume that it would be because of his rear tyres overheating. But that's weird. So anyway, Morris falls back to 6th place. Regardless though, Gennaro and Sam still going at it. Gennaro is not going to give up that podium spot. I wouldn't expect him to. But while all this battling's going on, the Ferrari driver is sitting in the background rubbing his hands together. On to lap 6 we go. Obviously DRS has been activated, so Sam with the DRS and slipstream should get the move done fairly easily into turn 2, and he does. Takes 3rd position for now. I'm just trying to look for these cars sliding through here, if there's any corrections on the steering wheel. If there are, then that will tell us that the tyre wear is going to start falling off. But like I've said, tyre wear around here really is not that much of an issue. So Hypersofts are going to go about 12 laps before a pit stop is an option. We're only just halfway there, so tyres should only be about 30%, if that. So yeah, anyway, Gennaro seems, yep, he's going to lose another place for that DRS, from that DRS I should say. Drops back down to 5th place. I don't believe he's got any time penalties just now though. And I'm sure those will start to rearrange the finishing order at the end of the race. Speak of the devil, time penalty is given to Jack Maya. Gennaro's going to dive into the pits, so as I was just saying, tyre wear should not be an issue as his gearbox is lagging out, but on lap 7 Gennaro's going to into the pits he goes. Tierra Montana still holds strong in that 1st position, 7 seconds ahead of SXY, who is ahead of this man here in the McLaren. First time driver in SWE, Sam, currently holds 3rd place. Carlson also, I've just realised, DNF for both the Silver drivers in. Not a very good result for them at all. Silver currently sit right at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship, only on 12 points, but they are tied with Force India with Dream on 6 in there, so Dream on 6 in 5th place just now. He has potential to boost Force India up the Constructors' Championships. We'll see what comes of it though. So the Ferrari driver here just sitting behind Sam. Doesn't seem to be taking too much risks. Obviously he is pushing, but you also want to be consistent. You don't want to push so hard that you start getting time penalties. It's all about the balance of risk for reward. That DRS is keeping him in check though. As long as you're within 1 second with the long straights here at Sochi, then you should be you should have a good chance of getting past the car in front, as long as you are obviously within that 1 second time limit for the DRS to be activated, and you can see it's working right now. Billy just sits comfortably in 5th place, not taking any risks. You can see right through there, he's not really throwing the car through. Neither he should be, to be honest. Like I said, risk for reward. Onto the back straight we go. DRS is opened, slipstream is in effect. Can he get the move done? Obviously Sam's going to go defensive, but it doesn't look like it's going to make much difference. Locks up, Vili goes wide. It's going to lose him the place for now. Sam keeps that podium spot. But to be honest, doesn't look like it's lost him that much time. Pretty much just back to square one. Pellegro is just retired from the race. I'm not sure where. See if we can get a view from Jamie Morris. Oh Jesus. Pellegro in the Renault. His car was obviously just stranded in the middle of the track. Gave me a bit of a fright by the looks of it. I'm assuming that he hit the wall or something, because I don't think he had a tyre where it should have been. But regardless, that Renault is out of the race. His teammate though, Daniel KTM, currently sits in 8th place in the championship standings. Finished 10th last time in USA last week. And yeah, so the Renault boys in 8th place just now in the Constructors' Championship. They're only 5 points behind Toro Rosso, and there are no Toro Rosso drivers in the session right now, so Daniel is looking to carry the Renaults up the Constructors' Championship a little bit, I think. As long as he stays where he is, that shouldn't be a bad result for them. Lap number 10 of 27, almost halfway through the race now. Still, these two drivers are going at it for 3rd place. Defensive goes Sam. Into turn 2 we go. Looks like Vili's going to go around the outside. Gets a little bit of a corner cut on the exit though. I'm going to assume that that would have given him a warning at least, but keeps 3rd place for now. Yep, multiple warnings, gets a time penalty. I believe that is his first one though of the session, so he's not too bad. Sam's going to take the inside line into turn 5, but Vili wise to it. Just gives him a little bit of space, not enough to avoid any kind of contact. Yeah, and then he keeps 3rd place. Pretty bog standard from these two drivers, nothing too exciting. But as long as they keep it clean, then they'll have nothing to worry about. So Vili sits in 3rd place, 10 seconds ahead of him. SWE in that Mercedes, again on for a good result. Finished 4th place last time. Before that, he was actually on the podium for 2nd place. He's going to come into the pits though. Lap number 10, at the end of 10, he's going to get a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting, but it's kind of annoying. Yeah, the game kind of glitches out if you don't stay on the pit lane. The little kind of I don't know what to call it, like the entry to the pit lane. If you go over those white lines, then the game thinks that you're actually corner cutting, and that's exactly what's done there. So SWE lands himself a 10-second time penalty, but that will probably be revoked at the end of the race, so not much to worry about right now, but it's just a little bit annoying. Comes out still in 2nd place onto the ultra soft tyres. Ahead of him, Montana also pitted on that lap. Great camera angles from the helicopter. They should just have it all the time on broadcasts like this. Instead of the camera just like sitting at the side, they should just have the helicopter follow it around. It's just 100 times better. Anyway. So Gennaro, I believe, is one of the only drivers still to pit. No, he's done 4 laps on the soft, so yeah, he has pitted. But yeah, 3rd place for him. Started in 2nd though, but he had a little bit of a unfortunate start. But nonetheless, a good result. He did get 3rd place last time, so I can't see why you would be disappointed. He only actually sits 1 point behind Max Wheatley in the championship right now, and Max isn't in the session, so just like the case with a lot of the drivers, to be honest, as long as you finish the race, you're gonna start making advancements up the championship standings. Right, so Jamie Morris then in 7th place. He's catching that McLaren driver ahead of him, Jack Maya. I believe he's making his first appearance in the league also. Yeah, Jack, this is his first race, I think. I'm not sure. I feel like he's been in another race. Anyway, regardless, he's going to get swiftly overtaken. DRS for Jamie shouldn't be that hard of a move. Looks like Jack's going to hold out though. Both drivers being a bit generous with the space they're given. But eventually, whoa, Jack kind of let that position go, but Jamie went way too wide on turn 12, I believe it is. Dream16 now has joined the action. Looks like we've got a battle on our hands then. All these drivers fighting for 6th place. Jack Maya in the McLaren is on not only the softest compounded tyre, but also the most worn, 11 laps on those yellow wall tyres. Looks like he's going to let Jamie go through turn 2, lets him have the inside line, goes a little bit wide on the exit, and that gives Dream16 the inside line over both the drivers. That Force India slides up the inside of both of them, 2 places at once. Beautiful move from him. Jack Maya up the inside into turn 5, gets the move done by the looks of it. Jamie looking for the cutback, but nothing is really going to come of it as of now. So here we go, into turn number 10, onto the back straight obviously. Jamie's going to have the DRS. Looks Jack isn't going to have DRS. I would have thought that he might have caught the end of the time gap to Dream16 ahead of him, but anyway, he loses out on DRS. And what has happened there? JME, obviously, I think he turned himself into the wall. The Mercedes driver overtaking Jack might have got a little bit too excited on the steering, and he's just ploughed himself into the wall, ricocheted off the wall, and Jack has collected him. Into the pits he goes. I'm assuming it's for a front wing change. Yeah, JME was on for a decent finish there. Oh well, that's kind of a shame, to be honest. So Jack Maya makes his, I believe that's his second pit stop of this race already, and because of that he's in last place, but last place is 9th place, so I mean even if you're last in this race you're going to score some points, so I mean it's not too bad really. So we'll just ride on board with Montana for now. All the drivers kind of spacing out a little bit, so there's not much racing for now. We're halfway through the race. Sam has left the session. Lap 17, it looks like Sam has just got up and left, to be honest. Maybe a disconnect, I'm assuming. His Ghost is still driving, so I think he's just disconnected, so hopefully he can rejoin, but yeah, I'm not too sure what's happened there. Only another 10 laps to go as well, so he was heading for a pretty decent result. There you go, he's back in, doesn't matter. Yeah, he must have disconnected. He joined back, but he doesn't seem to be actually driving yet. Yellow flags in Sector 3. I'm looking for who that was. I don't know. Might have been Jack. I think he's the only one in Sector 3. Anyway. Yeah, Storm. First time appearance. 8th place for him. Seems to be quite consistent. No problems with his driving, if you ask me. Yeah, he seems alright, to be honest. Smooth and steady. So ahead of him, Daniel, KTM. Alright then, finally we have a race on our hands by the looks of it. Jack Maya in McLaren coming onto the back of Storm. Lap 22 out of 27, so we're on the lateral stages of this race now. Jack with DRS is going to take the inside line. Storm with a cutback though. He is on the softer tyres as well as them being more worn. But to be honest, 10 laps on a soft compound of tyre around here really isn't too much work. They should be, I mean, like 30% wear maybe. But regardless, the Red Bull driver falls down to 9th place for now. I'll be honest with you, I was about falling asleep there, to be honest. All the drivers are completely spread out. Apart from these guys, the closest gap is 4th to 3rd, which is 2.5 seconds, so yeah, not much going on, to be honest. Nonetheless, we're still here. So it's Tyrrell Montana, not surprisingly, currently holds that first place, top step of the podium, 16.5 seconds ahead of anyone. SWE in the Mercedes, 12 laps also on the Ultra Softs for these two drivers, as well as Villi in that Ferrari, 4th place. He sits behind Gennaro in the Haas, who is on the worst set of tyres in the entire grid right now. 16 laps on the yellow walled compound. Like I said at the start of the stream though, you can get away with about 30 or 29 laps on the softest compounded tyres, so lap 16 shouldn't be too much of an issue, but obviously they're not quite going to be at their prime. Especially compared to those on the Ultra Soft, which is pretty much all of the grid. Apart from him and Storm, all the drivers are on Ultra Softs, and you can get about 20 laps out of them. So yeah, Storm he's left the session. I'm gonna assume also that was from a disconnect. I mean, what can I say? Yeah, the 5th driver now to be out of this race. MC in the Sauber, sorry. He was the first one to go, and then his teammate after him, Carlson, Swedish driver, went out on lap 4 I think, or lap 3. And then Pellegro in the Renault spun, where was it? Oh god, I'm not sure. Wherever it was. Turn 8 I think it was anyway. Had a spin, hit the wall. Car was -1 tyre, and that was his race over. Jamie Morris ahead of him had a spin. Was that him? Was it him that... Yeah, he had a little bit of oversteer on exit of turn 4, and then he dropped back to about 7th place, and then he was actually battling with Jack Maya, and then it was at this corner here, just kind of turned into the wall, and then as well as Pellegro, his car lost a wheel and found himself out of the race. So Jack Maya, actually, a little bit unfortunate for him. He's had to make 2 pit stops in this race, not just because of tyre wear, but because of his front wing. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate for him, but nonetheless currently sits in pretty much last place apart from Storm. But nonetheless, last place is 8th, so I believe that's 4 points for him. So I mean, what can you complain? How can you complain, I should say. Tyrrell Montana laps that Red Bull driver, currently not even in the session, but what can you do? SX White behind him. Alright then, coming on to the penultimate lap of the race, lap 27 will be the last one, so on to lap 26 we go. So Thierry Montana, the Canadian driver, joined the league at round 2. Wasn't at round 1, so Villy actually won that, and then SWE was second. That was at Mexico for round 1. Yeah, so joined round 2, and then after that, that was pretty much the end of it. He's had 6 wins out of 6, and he's just about to add to that. Sam, further back, I've just realised, he's had a spin. He's retired from the race. I'm not sure why. On the pit straight, I'm not... How do you crash on the back straight? A little bit of a weird one that, but anyway, he's out of the race. So it looks like we're going to end up with 8 finishers. An all-time low. And his teammate flies past him, Jack, in that McLaren as well. To be honest, actually, I've just also realised McLaren set 4th place in the Constructors' Championship, so not bad at all. Melito and Jack Maya are currently the 2 first grid drivers. So Melito sits in 5th place in the Championship standings with 52 points. And Jack Maya is about to add to that, sits 7th place just now. But Thierry Montana, on to the last lap we go. We'll just follow him round for one last time. Turn 1 we go. On the Hypersoft tyres, 16 laps on these. So tyre wear shouldn't be too bad. Alright then, for the 7th time this season, oh no sorry, the 6th time this season, Thierry Montana actually posts the fastest lap of the race on that last one there. So the Canadian driver takes the top step of the podium. SWE and the Mercedes are going to come across the line to take 2nd place for the 4th time this season. So can't be complaining about that finish, to be honest. Not too bad at all. Gennaro started 15th last week, got his car up to 3rd place, and he's done it again. He started 2nd place today though, but after an unfortunate start. 3rd place is where he stands. Behind him, Villy in that Ferrari. 4th place for him. Dream16 in the pink car. He will no doubt come across the line. 5th place for him. Daniel KTM in 6th, and then Jack Maya for the first time will come across the line and finish in 7th place. There you go. We are done. Round number 7. And that is it. Yeah, so overall, not a bad race at all. Kind of died down towards the end there, but the start was a good one, to be honest. Quite exciting, quite exciting. Yeah, not surprisingly, once again, Montana takes the top step of the podium. So I'll just quickly run you through the final standings then. So Montana, of course, top step, SXY. Second place from Gennaro, the two Swedish drivers, Ville and G16, 4th and 5th for them. Jack Maya finishes 6th place actually, he's moved up. Daniel KTM must have had a fair deal of penalties. We'll see there, yeah, plus 15 seconds. So Daniel KTM actually drops down a place. Yeah, so he finishes 7th. Jack Maya in 6th, and then all the rest of those drivers are just DNFs. Storm appeared to disconnect, or whether he just left, I'm not sure. Regardless, he won't get any points for this race. Sam, another weird one, didn't finish the race. Jamie Morris hitting the wall, Pellegro hitting the wall, and then Carlson and MC, both those Sauber drivers, also not reaching the checkered flag. Yeah, so just to round this off, thanks very much guys for watching. I should, as usual, see you next week for round number 8. We're at Britain next week. Yes, we're set for a good one there. But anyway, like I said, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all in 1 week's time.